Gather round, children, because we are reading a story today called Why Hamsters Eat Their Young. The hamster was once the size of the gorilla. He was feared by many because of his size and sharp teeth, but generally loved by the animal kingdom because of his kindness. One day the hamster met a wizard who was traveling through the kingdom. The hamster liked the wizard and was charmed by his personality and his magic. He invited the wizard to meet his friends, who were also charmed by the personality and magic of the wizard. The hamster had always considered himself the most likable of his friend group, but the longer the wizard stayed in the kingdom, the more jealous the hamster became of how likable the wizard was. He soon started trying to humiliate the wizard to make himself look better. He would laugh loudly if the wizard made a mistake and latch onto the wizard's insecurities, thinking that by attacking the wizard's insecurities, he made himself look more confident and more likable. A few weeks later, his best friends came up to tell him that he should stop making fun of the wizard. They said that they thought it was mean of him to make fun of someone new to the friend group, and if he attacked the wizard's insecurities so much out loud, they had to wonder if it was safe to trust the hamster with their own insecurities. Hamster's oldest friend, Mouse, said he wanted to be friends with someone that made him feel big and powerful and strong, not with someone that made him feel small and weak. Hamster stayed quiet for a long time after his friends finished talking. Then he apologized for his behavior and explained that he was only making fun of the wizard because he thought his friends liked the wizard more than they liked him. Mouse laughed, saying Hamster was his best friend, and the only thing that would change that was if the hamster became mean again. Part of what Mouse loved about Hamster was how nice he was and how big his heart was. A few days later, Hamster and Wizard were hanging out by themselves, and Hamster started falling back into his old habit of making fun of the wizard. He had been nice when they were all hanging out as a group, but when they were alone, without their friends watching, Hamster couldn't resist trying to make the wizard feel small so that he could feel bigger. But this time the wizard had had enough. With a wave of his hand, the wizard shrunk the hamster down to the size he is today. He picked the hamster up in his palm, looked him in the eye, and said, "Now you are as small on the outside as you feel on the inside. As small as you tried to make me feel. I've cursed you to stay this small until you learn to be kind and uplift people instead of dragging them down. When you learn to be kind and learn to not take your insecurities out on others, then you will grow back to your original size." The wizard waved his hand again and shrunk all the hamsters in the world down to the same size. "Your kind is now doomed to be small until you learn your lesson. The more you uplift others who are different from you, the bigger you will grow." With that, the wizard left the kingdom, never to be seen again. But the hamster never learned his lesson. He felt so insecure over his size being so small that he began to insult his friends. When they asked him to stop, he ignored them, caught up in his own sadness over his size. Eventually, all his friends left him. When he finally met a girl and they had kids, he still couldn't get over his own insecurities. So he was never able to truly appreciate his family. He started insulting his babies, but realizing they didn't understand what he was saying, he began to eat them to satisfy his need to feel big and powerful. And that, my darlings, is why hamsters eat their babies.